What's going on, hustlers? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Cantave. I am 22 years old and I'm a government contractor. I've done over 130 contracts and I've been an account manager for 2 different companies, winning them over 25 contracts, and I've done over $3 million in revenue. I am a commercial multi-engine pilot and a flight instructor, and I am an ultra runner. If you're looking for information on government contracting, you're just starting your journey, you're years into your journey, and you're looking for tips and tricks to increase your margins, win more contracts, you have come to the right place. Before we get into today's video, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, please comment down below if you guys have any tips or any constructive criticism on how I can improve the videos. You guys' feedback is always appreciated. I love tailoring these videos to specifically what you guys are looking for. So today's topic, we're going to be going over the types of product contracts. So people see a lot of different things on DIBs. The user interface could be sometimes a little overwhelming. It's kind of archaic, and they just see all these acronyms and they see all these logos and stuff, and they don't really know what they're looking at. And I want to preface this is specifically for government contracting product sales with the Defense Logistics Agency. So there's, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 different kinds of government contracts here. So the first kind of contract that we have here is an IDIQ or an IDC. So an IDIQ is an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract, or it could just be called an IDC, indefinite delivery contract. So these are a very interesting kind of contract. How it works is the government will issue you a order for supplies. It'll be everything looks the same. It'll be a contract, and they will issue it underneath like a blanket amount. So I've seen $250,000, which is the most common amount that they will issue it up to. I've seen $2 million, which is another common amount, and then I've seen the $5 to $10 million range as well. But primarily we'll be dealing with those that are in like the $250,000 range. So the government issues you an award for the supplies, and then it'll last from anywhere from 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years. I don't know why they skipped 3 and 4, but that's just the way that the game goes. And again, these are for the most common ones. Like the government can always issue whatever they need to fit their needs. So you might see a 4.5 year one or a 3 year one, but the most common ones are 1 year, 2 year, and 5 year. So they will tell you, let's say for example, like this is an SD card holder. And they will say, okay, we are issuing this on November 14th, 2024, and it's valid for a year. They will say, or the contract tells you, we can spend up to $250,000 on these SD card cases over the duration of a year, just as an example. And in the solicitation, they will tell you the guaranteed number of units that they're going to purchase, and then they'll give you an estimate on the amount of orders that they're going to have. So I want to clarify this. The number of units that they want to purchase and the number of orders that they're going to place are very different. Units, meaning if they wanted to purchase 8 of these and then they told you, hey, we're going to estimate like 2 orders, it could be 1 order for 5 units and 1 order for 3 units. And legally, that's all that they had to do. They just guaranteed that they were going to buy 8. However, they could also buy up to $250,000 worth of these. So it's an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity. You don't necessarily know how much they're going to spend on this stuff unless you've sold it before or you've got some forecasting information on it. So these are cool because you might win something and you have a great relationship with your manufacturer and you get to sell it over and over and over again for the duration of the next year, and your profit margin is sick. One thing to be careful with though with these IDIQs is whenever it transpires over the course of like 1 year, so let's say like 2024 into 2025, the price of the material might change from your vendor or manufacturer. So you've got to get a very specific kind of quote that says that, hey, we're going to honor this price for a year. And sometimes that can be hard to do when you're a new company working with a new manufacturer. So sometimes your profit margin might fluctuate a little bit because let's say the government is buying these at $100 a pop, and then our vendor is telling us that we're going to be able to purchase them from them at $50 a pop. So nice, we're making 100% profit margin on this, right? Awesome. But then let's say in 2025, our vendor tells us, hey, you guys have to buy these at $75 a pop. You have locked in the price that you're selling this material to the government for. That cannot change. You agreed when you submitted your bid to lock in that price over the duration of that IDIQ. So the government's still gonna pay $100 for them, but now your margin's only $25 instead of $50. So there's pros and cons. You get a lot of past performance from these. These are great for building relationships. These are great for getting on DLA's good side. They love IDIQs. It's pretty much like a get out of jail free card for them. So just a couple of things to be aware of. What's going on, hustlers? We're gonna get right back to the video, but before we continue, I wanted to let you guys know that for the next 10 members, 10 slots only, we are running a 40% off Black Friday sale on Ignore to Award and our DLA Success Bundle. So if you're looking to win your first contract in 45 days with Ignore to Award, or if you're looking to learn how to become an approved source and sell surplus and get all of the standard operating procedures and quality assurance things that we use at Two Lions Aerospace to scale from 0 to 14 million in 3 years at a 40% off discount, click the link down below to book a call to speak with Sam and myself between now and November 29th. The sale ends at midnight and it's limited to our first 10 applicants. Let's get back to the video. The next thing, or the next kind of contract, are contracts that have a first article test requirement. So first article test requirement, it's essentially a prototype. I guess you could think of it as like they are testing the first article of the product, I guess. I don't know, trying to put it into layman's terms for you guys. But anytime you see a first article test, literally just means that the government wants a prototype, and you will see it as a separate line item on the contract itself. So it's going to be something like, you know, let's say, again, we'll use the SD card case example. They want 50 units of this, but then they want, I think the most I've ever seen is 5 first article tests, but we'll just go with like 1 unit. So they want 1 unit of this to test it. So you have to send them the first article test first, and the government likes it and it meets all of their requirements. And then they will go ahead with purchasing the remaining 50. Or they might send it back to you and then be like, listen, we need you guys to make XYZ changes because we needed to meet these standards and the first article test didn't. So literally it's just a way for the government to test the material. The cool thing about first article test is logistically it does add another layer because you've got to ship and package more stuff. However, you get to mark them up exorbitantly. Like I'm talking about bottom line, like baseline. We used to mark up our first article test $750, like no matter what. The first article test could have been like $5 and we would have marked it up $750, and DLA understands that. Now, keep in mind that from a vendor's perspective or a manufacturer's perspective, if they normally make 25 of these at a time and you want them to only make 1 and send it to you, they might have an MOQ, minimum order quantity. So if you're only purchasing 1, right, usually the price of a first article test is more expensive than it would be to buy it at, you know, the regular unit quantity size, whether that be 25, 50, or 100, because they invoke an opportunity cost. They have to pay the overhead of their rent. They got to pay the overhead of their machines. They got to pay their employees. They got to pay their insurance. They invoke an opportunity cost, right, when you only purchase 1 unit from them. So just something to be aware of when you're getting quotes on those first article tests. And usually that'll be stuff that's manufactured. You can request a waiver on first article test. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have too much experience doing that for factory new items. I get waivers all the time for new surplus stuff because the government already owned it, so it's already been certified. So if you want information on, you know, how to get around that and how to sell surplus stuff, click the link down below, book a call to speak with the team. The next kind of contract, it's your most basic one. It's going to be just like a regular purchase order. It's really called fixed price firm quantity. I want to say that's what it is, fixed price firm quantity. It's a fixed price contract, regular purchase order, regular contract award. The unit size or the quantity that you said you were going to supply in the contract, that's fixed, it's published, you have to adhere to that. And then the price, you're telling the government that they will be able to purchase the material from you at that exact same price point as what was offered. Whenever you want to change that, you have to submit a PAR, which is a post-award request. Not super complicated, but I notice a lot of people aren't familiar with PARs. They think it's kind of like a death sentence if something changes in your contract, which isn't true. You can 100% go and submit a post-award request and edit it. Again, if you want some info on that, click a link down below, book a call to speak with the team. Now let's talk about one of my favorite ones, fast awards. So I've actually got an explanation of the fast award solicitation from this is a DLA document from DLA.mil, and it is actually a frequently asked questions document. So I'm gonna read this to you guys. Fast auto evaluation solicitations, aka fast awards, are solicitations estimated to be less than the micro purchase threshold. They may be awarded prior to the solicitation return date and time. Basically meaning if the government says it's going to take us 2 weeks to evaluate this, they can award it in 2 days. Solicitations for items with documented urgency may be awarded prior to solicitation return date and time. So again, that's going to be the rating of the contract, right? So that's going to be in the top right corner. That'll be like DO versus DC or DX, I'm sorry, different priorities. So if we're in wartime or something like that, certain contracts are going to have different priorities because, you know, our armed forces, the men and women who are boots on the ground, might need something a little more urgently than what was initially prescribed. Solicitations may also result in award prior to the solicitation return date when the response date is 30 days or greater and a responsive quotation is received prior to the 30 days, but at least 11 days after issuance. So there's stipulations, right? So if people are bidding on the stuff and then they submit a response date 30 days after it was due to close, but then somebody submits one prior to the 30 days, but at least 11 days after issuance, it can be awarded. Therefore, suppliers are advised to submit quotations as quickly as possible. Per the DLA master solicitation for simplified acquisitions, et cetera, it's just right, it's just citing the policy. Fast auto evaluation solicitations. The icon is literally, it's a red F, and it identifies fast auto evaluation solicitations. These solicitations are estimated to be at or less than the micro purchase threshold and are not set aside. So for those of you guys that are unfamiliar, micro purchase threshold, 10K. Anything less than that, it's considered a micro purchase. A quotation valued less than the micro purchase threshold that is submitted in response to a solicitation that has an estimated value equal to or greater to the micro purchase threshold and was not originally marked may also result in an early award as a result of being evaluated as a fast auto evaluation solicitation. Fast auto evaluation commences at 3 p.m. EST, 3 business days after the issue date. So if you have something submitted within that time period, right? So let's say it was issued on November 1st, and then you submitted your bid November 2nd, it can be evaluated and awarded as early as November 4th at 3 p.m. EST. The automated evaluation program for an early award evaluates all quotations not exceeding the micro purchase threshold. So the automated evaluation program is literally like an algorithm, and then it takes a bunch of stuff into consideration, such as your SPUR score, your pricing, your lead time, whether or not you're getting it from the approved source, did you submit it as an alternate, et cetera, et cetera. So that is a breakdown of the fast award solicitation. Then let's talk about solicitations that have JCP requirements. So sometimes people think that first article test and then JCP are exclusively concurrent. That's not true. I have had instances where there were no JCP requirements and I still had to submit a first article test. And then I've had situations, a bunch of situations, where you need a JCP cert to be able to access the tech docs or the drawings, which are literally just blueprints for the part. And I didn't need to submit a first article test. So I don't want people to think that these are like concurrent or like mutually exclusive. You can have one without the other, or you can have both. But a JCP is a joint certification program certification, literally just joint certification program certification. That's funny. But pretty much it just means that you need to have access to tech docs and there's blueprints and drawings. So you need to get it manufactured by a machine shop or a manufacturer or something like that. I have one client, literally like the coolest thing ever. I was talking to him on the phone and he was telling me that he works with somebody who manufactures like the targets that they use on the gun range. It's crazy. Like they buy all kinds of stuff. But it makes sense though that they would have JCP requirements because they might need very, very specific looking targets that are made of a very, very specific material. So anytime you see JCP, just know that it's stuff that has to be manufactured. Again, unless you want to sell surplus material like your boy. So click the link down below to book a call to speak with the team to learn how to do that. Now, before we talk about my favorite last type of government contract, Gotta let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Lucy. It is the best all-in-one government contracting software on the market.
Introducing Lucy, the best all-in-one software for DLA suppliers and contractors. Let's check out some of the top features. In the market research section, search and find IDIQs with various search parameters including estimated contract price, FSC codes, tech docs, ISO JCP flags, and much more. Click on NSN to open the NSN dialog for quick access to NSN history, approved sources, and more. Click on approved source cage code to view company details. And finally, add as many filters as you like and save your searches for quick access. You can save as many searches as you like with different search parameters. Once ready to bid, simply do one-click copy IDIQ to your CLM bidding board. Now let's check out CLM and bid management features. Bidding Workspace will help you stay organized, track your bids, and speed up the bidding process. Now let's look at the solicitation we just copied over in detailed view. System recognized the associated suppliers for a given NSN product and automatically placed them in the supplier quotes table, so we can go through and request quotes from all the relevant suppliers for a given NSN product. Once the supplier is chosen, simply select it in the product details section. Notice most of the information will be pre-filled in from the contract. Then go to the service details section to enter all other costs including shipping price and any associated labor costs. System will do all the calculations and show us the summary of our bid price, margin, and the profit at the top. We can also attach any relevant documents in the files section and take notes to track the progress of the specific contract. Once ready, simply place your bid in DIBS and change the status to bid placed in Lucy and move on to the next one.
And we're back. So let's talk about the last kind, COTS, commercial off-the-shelf items. So these are pretty much anything that you can find on the internet, on Amazon, on Walmart, you go into Target, etc., etc. So I kind of am like romanticizing it when I say, okay, you could just find it by going online or going into a store. You also could find it by going online. That also would make it a commercial off-the-shelf item. You know what I mean? So you can search, you can Command F solicitations for the acronym Charlie, Oscar, Tango, Sierra, or COTS, and you will basically be able to verify that it's a commercial off-the-shelf item by doing that. However, there's a lot of commercial off-the-shelf items, stuff that you can just find online that are not identified as such in the solicitation. People ask me, is there a methodology for finding COTS? I am so transparent when I tell them this. Listen, dude, I don't have a secret Krabby Patty formula for that. I just literally think of what is something that I could buy from Home Depot that the government would need, and I just cross-reference it by finding the FSC code for the stuff that is sold on Home Depot, or the stuff that's sold on Walmart, or the stuff that's sold on Amazon. And then I find the FSC code, plug that into DIBS, boom. I'm literally like farming COTS. I'm spawn camping COTS. That's some Gen Z lingo for you right there. So those are the 6 kinds of contracts. We've got IDIQs, FATs, regular purchase orders, fast awards, JCP contracts, and commercial off-the-shelf contracts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, leave any comments down below on how I can improve the videos. I love tailoring the videos to you guys. Not only am I looking forward to your success, I'm absolutely sure of it. Let's go print those dollars.